Well, it's Wednesday, so time to talk about TV movies that I like. You can give you an idea of some of the things I watch, and maybe you want to check it out yourself. I want to talk about, considering I talked about this a while back, about the Weird Al movie called Weird. A lot of people don't know that he made a movie in the 80s, and it was amazing. Greetings, Dave here, DCP Facts. Welcome back. So this is Wednesday, so I'm talking about movies and TV that I enjoy. Now this movie, UHF, this was around the time that Weird Al really had taken off. You know, this is in the late 80s. I think this is 89. I couldn't tell you because I don't have my glasses on, but I think it's 89. Oh, I can read that. It is 89. There you go. So he was doing this in 88. So at this point, he's quite popular because he's had, like in the early 80s, we had like a surgeon, all these other things he's done. And they decided, let's make a movie. It is an interesting story about Al plays a character called George Newman. He has a very, very, very active imagination. It starts off in a Raiders homage. He's got all these different things going through it. If you've seen, maybe you've seen the video, he did a thing on the Beverly Hillbillies using Money for Nothing that he parodied. Anyway, he loses lots of jobs, and at one point his uncle wins a UHF station. For UHF, for those of you who are much younger, back in the day you didn't get TV and movies on cable. It came over the air. So you did have some cable stations and some network affiliates, but a lot of it was over the ultra high frequency band, UHF. So it was a little dumb station, and he took it over, and it was failing. And it had some really notable cameos in it. People doing some really great parts. Fran Drescher, Tony Geary, Luke from Luke and Laura from the soaps in the 80s. You had Geddy Watanabe, Emo Phillips, Kevin McCarthy, classic character actor. He was great in this movie. Lots of things. Billy Barty, Noodles McIntosh. Great characters in it. So much fun. Anyway, he takes over the station, and it's not doing well. And he tries, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. Also, Victoria Jackson plays his girlfriend. It just keeps getting worse. And then we have Michael Richards. This is Michael Richards right before Seinfeld, right before he really hit. And given how his career has fallen apart with that tirade he had a couple years ago, he's really good in this. He plays a character called Stanley Spadowski. He's the janitor. He used to work at the network affiliate, and they fired him just over something dumb. And he comes to work for Al, which character George Newman. And Al's doing Uncle Nutsy's Clubhouse, and it's just not working. It's the kids, I don't want to be here. So he just says, screw it, I don't want to do this. I'm going to go have a drink. And his friend, Bob, played by David Bowe, really great actor. He said, you don't drink. Well, I always meet and start. So while they're at the bar, he said, Stanley, you want your own TV show? Fine. Yeah, I'll do it, George. I still get to be the janitor though, right? Yeah. And he goes over the top, and it's dumb, like as in finding the marble in the kiddie pool full of oatmeal. If you do that, you get to drink from the fire hose. Exactly. So he's at the bar, and they're just sort of sitting there, and people go, oh guys, it's back. What? Holy smokes, this is a hit. And then suddenly it takes off. You have all these shows he's making up. He's got Wheel of Fish, Geddy Watanabe, who, if you don't know, you're like, who? Who's Geddy Watanabe? 16 Candles, Long Duck Dong. He also was in Gung Ho with Michael Keaton. He's done a lot of good things. He's a funny character called Cooney. Really good. And they went for that funny joke at the end in the supply closet. Look for it, you'll see it. Anyway, they start taking off. They become number one in the area, and the network affiliate's like, how are these guys beating us? What's going on? So it gets down to the point where, in standard, writing tropes, it gets to the point where there's a problem. So his uncle owns the station, has a bad week, owes a bookie $75,000. So they have to get the money somehow. The network says we'll buy it, and they fight to raise money. Now, I'm not spoiling this movie because it came out in 1989. Anyway, there's a lot of fun things in it, fun of homages. Like if you ever want to see Al, because you look at the back of this, you can see it, but you see Al in a Rambo ensemble. He has a lot of fun with this movie, and it's a classic. It's much like some of the movies I talk about, like Hunga Buckaroo Banzai, is a classic after the fact. There's a lot of movies out there who just didn't hit and become funny afterwards. Like I love Return of the Killer Tomatoes. It bombed, but it's such a fun movie because it's just so dumb. Are you Rob Lowe? It's just, this is the same sort of movie. You know, you talk to people who are just like me. I was talking with my friend Mike about something else while we were watching this because I was showing it to my student. And I said, yeah, it's okay, we're just watching UHF. He goes, oh, I love that movie. Oh, so great. I've seen it so often. I can leave while we talk and we'll, you know, I'll get back to it. So if you're looking for a movie that's just going to make you kind of go and giggle through it, like the ending is just hilarious. And it's so well done because it's so bad. Like I wouldn't say it's a bad movie. It's what you expect from a Weird Al movie. Like it really is. You know, Weird was a very different movie, but from a Weird Al movie, starring Weird Al, it's what you're getting here. And a lot of fun. So if you have the ability to, check it out. It's a fun movie, and I think you'll if you are liking any of the stuff I'm doing here, you kind of go, yeah, good one, Dave. Yeah, good one. You got me. Yeah, I like that. So that is what I want to talk about today. That is my movie pick for this week. I have another one next week. It's going to be very interesting. It's it was a pilot that didn't take off, that turned into like a low-budget TV movie that it took me years to see the opening of, because I'd always catch it in the second hour. Anyway, we'll talk about that next week. Also, later today, we have the stream, 7:30 EST. I've been very about Picard. I didn't like season 1. I'm stuck at episode 3 of season 2. I'm not enjoying it, but I have some hope for season 3 from what I've seen from the trailer. I'm going to talk about that. So check it out. It'll be here live on YouTube, 7:30 EST. So that is today's video. Everyone have a great day. Talk to you all later.